Good evening, everyone. I'm Fatima Johaina, your host for today's session. Welcome back. And can you believe it? We've already reached the final day of our 4-day short term skill development course on systematic review and meta analysis writing. Over the past 3 days, we have gone on quite the learning journey from crafting solid research questions, building smart search strategies, screening and assessing studies, to dipping our toes into the basics of meta analysis. And today, we get to pull all those pieces together. Tonight's focus is on writing your review and getting it ready for publication. That crucial step where your hard work turns into a polished piece of research. Our first session is on data synthesis and writing the review, which will help us organize our findings and present them in a way that truly does justice to the evidence. But before we dive in, we have a special announcement. I'd like to invite Dr. Ajit Singh, the founder and CEO of CliMed and Curio, to share it with us.
Hi everyone, good evening. How are you all? I hope the course is going good, guys. I'll take your 5 minutes before we, get to the end of this course today. Okay, so there are two things. Okay, my interns are also there as the participant, and the new people are also there who are participating. Almost 110 new registrants and 100 plus of my interns I could see here. So guys, there is a very special announcement what I want to talk to you, because first I was noticing that many of you are not interested, or not getting the assignments done. Okay, we got only 65% of the assignments from all of you. Okay, maybe it's fine. Like, see, this time we are not forcing you to do the assignments, but it is an integral part of the course. Okay. Okay, again, I'll say it's fine if you're not doing it. But if you are not doing it, that means you are missing something which is very amazing. Okay, now let me tell you what you are missing if you're not completing the assignments. First of all, let me show you. Let me show you. If you're not aligning with the assignments and all, see, this is our certificate of the systematic review and meta-analysis. Look at this certificate, so in this certificate your entire details will be there along with the credits and grades. Okay, this is our March batch certificate, and you will see here the percentage of marks and grades, right? So based on the percentage and grades as per the instructions, you will get this certificate. But let me tell you, if you are not submitting the assignments, if you are not submitting, if you're not interested in submitting the assignments, then you're not going to get this certificate. This certificate will be given only to the people who are submitting the assignment. Other peoples, they will get the certificate definitely of the course completion, but that certificate will be without grades, without marks, and just a normal course completion certificate. It will not have your credentials, it will not have your transcript of marks. Okay, so this is a straightforward thing from our side since starting. See, I respect that you have paid the, some 500 rupees. You have paid, your some of the time also in attending the classes live, or, recordings. No problem, you do it. But see, there are some rules what we have to follow. There are some instructions. There are some, curriculum what we have to think of. We have to, understand. We have to respect. So it is very simple. If you're not submitting the assignments, any of a single, I mean, even not a single assignment, right? Then you are not going to get this certificate. You are going to get a simple course completion certificate. And if you are submitting all the assignments and, attending tomorrow's last final exam, then you will get this certificate. So there are two types of certificate. If you are not submitting the assignment, you are missing this certificate, first of all. Okay, and second of all, what I'm just going to announce, that is our care program. Okay, people who are not interested in submitting the assignments and all, they will be completely ineligible to participate in our care program. So I'm here to invite you to our care program, what we have started in 2025 only. From the January we have started, and right now we are into the 4 projects. Okay, we are into the 4 projects, and that program is to enhance the research, to upgrade the research, the research level in India from the pharma and other healthcare backgrounds. Okay, and that is completely free of cost for all of you. So let me share, and this is an invitation letter again for all of you, right? But that is a challenge, and that is a condition from our side, that whoever is not submitting the assignments, they will not become a part of care program at all. They will not get a chance to become the part of this care program. Okay, so care program is nothing but CliMed Academy's research ecosystem, and this is the invitation letter for you guys. This is the SRMA cohort, systematic review and meta-analysis cohort, August 2025 batch, right? So this program, is our prestigious initiative, what we have started in, January 2025. And here we have designed this program to empower the healthcare students and faculties across the globe to participate in this structured and mentored research activities. So overall, this program is, to carry forward your research idea. See, the assignments, why we have asked you to do the assignments, so you can come up with some real time, some your what you have thought of, like doing something, right? Some ideas, and you can do some critical thinking and come up with some ideas to do a systematic review, and to write a systematic review and publish it. Okay, that was the main motto of conducting this program. We are not conducting any course or any programs without a motto, right? Without a long term goal. So the long term goal of this course was like to encourage you to publish it. Now, see, if you want to publish it, you can publish it by yourself. Definitely, you're most welcome. But if you need any kind of help in the resources, in the data search, in the databases, we have all the things right with us. So for that, we have created the care program, and this is our fifth project for this, especially this August batch, right? So if you want, you can participate. So this is open for everyone, open for everyone, whether you are undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral students, or faculty member, you can come to this. Okay, the registration program, the registration form will be circulated after Wednesday. So again, one more thing, guys, it's okay. If you couldn't do the assignments, I'm giving you certain time. You submit your all the assignments. If you intentionally or non-intentionally, if you haven't done that, please do it by Tuesday night 8 p.m. Okay, that is the extension for all the assignments. Assignment 1, 2, 3. Whatever assignments are there, submit it by Tuesday. Okay, and Wednesday you will get the results. And definitely tomorrow there is one final exam. So submit your assignments by Tuesday, and whoever is submitting the assignments will be able or will be eligible to participate in this program. Okay, so here what we will do is we will ask you for the ideas, whatever you have submitted as an assignment. If we feel like it is okay to go for systematic review, we will definitely go. We will check the feasibilities, and if you feel that this was just submitted, you want to come up with some other ideas, you can come up with some other ideas, and we will create a team for you. Okay, we will create a team for you, and in that team, what we will do is we will give you full support: research topic finalization, literature review, methodology design, and all the things. See, most of the work will be done by you, but we will be your helping hand. We will be your support, okay, in entire process of writing the systematic review, and even helping in the research tools, and all training resources. Or if you want the Ryan, if you want some database, and database searches which are not accessible to all of you, so these all the things we will provide to you in this. Okay, and we will if it is really good idea, if the systematic review and the idea is going really good, then we will give you the opportunities to present in the conferences, symposias, and we will even sponsor them partially or fully, right? And you will get the certificate of participation, definitely. And other than that, you will get the opportunity to publish that in the index journals. Okay, and other than that, we will be in the publication when you need some funds for the publication. We will even provide some funds if it is a good idea. If it is a good idea, definitely, if you are publishing, our team will be providing some support as well in the financial assistance, in the in aspect of financial assistant. But yes, you have to definitely mention us, and our team members who are working with you will be the part of authorships. Definitely, whoever is coming up with the idea will be the first author or corresponding author, that's not an issue. But my teammates, or who are already PhDs, or who are MDs, or PharmDs, and who are already well educated, but they are working in this in this care program, they will be helping you and they will be getting their credits, right? And other than that, nothing. We will be just You just have to mention us in the acknowledgements, the care program. That program in that publication will be done under the care program, but you will be getting all the credits of that, right? So this program will start from the end of August, and last week of the August, and the interest forms will be shared with you very very soon. Very very soon means definitely after Wednesday, not today. This invitation letter we will share in the groups today only. Okay, so you can go through and you can make your choices, you can read it. But yeah, again, see, again, assignments are very important, and please come up with your own ideas, come up with the good ideas, right? So you can be a part of. If you're not submitting the assignments, first of all, your certificate will not have the credentials, full credentials and transcript, and the second, you will not be eligible to go ahead with the care program. Okay, so these were the assignments and invitation to all of you. Like, if you want, please join us in the care program, so we can make your dream of writing the systematic review or meta analysis with us. Okay, yeah guys, so thank you very much, and please decide. And okay, can we enroll in this program as a group of 2 or more? Yes, definitely. We will create the groups based on your interest. We will create the groups based on your interest. Okay, guys. So now madam is waiting. So I will not take much time. And if anything, we will discuss in the group later. Okay, our team is there to discuss. Okay, guys. Thank you very much and take care. Yeah. Over to you, Fatima.
Thank you so much, Ajit sir, for that exciting update. Now, moving ahead, our session today will be delivered by Dr. Edlin Glane Mathias. Dr. Edlin, we can't wait to learn from your experience and insights. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Fatima. And good evening to all of you. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, so thank you. So since last 2-3 days, you have been learning on different steps of systematic reviews, right? From framing the question to how to go with meta-analysis in a systematic review. So next 1.5 to 2 hours, I'll be just speaking on, like, after you finish your systematic review, how you're going to do the data synthesis and progress in writing the systematic review manuscript. So just a quick brush up of systematic review steps. So you know that you have to formulate a team to conduct a systematic review. Then, being a second step, you have to identify the research question, then set your inclusion exclusion criteria, plan your protocol. Then you have to develop your search strategy, find out your databases, document your search. You have to manage your search results. Then go for the screening for title abstract and full text screening. Then you have to appraise the studies for their quality. Then you have to extract, analyze, and synthesize data. And finally, you're going to write and publish your manuscript. So we will just go through and see what is data synthesis in systematic reviews. So as you know that data synthesis, mainly it will try to synthesize the findings of the primary studies which you have included in your systematic review, and you will try to get a form of statistical analysis in the form of numerical data. So synthesis methods will mainly depend on the nature of the evidence that you are including in your systematic review and the type of review you are going to conduct. So reviewers must decide and pre-select a method of analysis based on the review question at the protocol development stage. So yesterday in my class, I was just mentioning, like, you have to develop a systematic review protocol, and you have to mention in your protocol what kind of data synthesis or data analysis you are going to plan in your systematic review. So there are different types of methods where you can focus for the data synthesis. So as we know, we have two types, that is quantitative data synthesis and qualitative data synthesis. So when we talk about quantitative data synthesis, it comes to our mind that we should have some numerical data to analyze and provide the appropriate results. So in a quantitative systematic review, data is presented statistically. So typically this is referred to as meta-analysis. So in yesterday's class, Elstein had oriented you on like what is meta-analysis, what all you have to follow in meta-analysis and the steps to conduct the meta-analysis. So the usual method is to combine and evaluate data from multiple studies. So you will be having results from multiple studies, and based on the appropriate data, based on your research question, you will try to analyze in the form of numerical synthesis. So one way of accurately representing of all data is in the form of a forest plot. So once you go with the meta-analysis, you will provide the data in the form of forest plot. A forest plot is a way of combining results of multiple clinical trials in order to show point estimates arising from different studies of a same condition or treatment. So this, with the help of meta-analysis and forest plot, you are going to combine the results of your review and you are going to say which is effective or which is not effective in a particular treatment. So let us see which are the common tools that are used in quantitative analysis. So we know in quantitative analysis, we have to group the similar data. It can be mean, standard deviation, or interquartile range, or the prevalence data which you have, or the pool data which you are having in your included studies. So this you can present in the form of tables, charts, diagrams, pie charts, or you can also go for the graphical displays such as forest plots, and you can also plan for conceptual frameworks or theories where you can what to say, if you are not able to go for the meta-analysis, you can also develop a conceptual framework or the theories. So when we look at the qualitative synthesis, we know that we don't have a numerical data and the data will be completely qualitative. So this can be done based on the thematic analysis, and it can be done on mainly three stages like coding of text line by line, or development of descriptive themes, or generation of analytical themes. So you can try to identify the major themes from the data that you have in your included studies, and you can describe based on the themes in your results. So common tools in qualitative studies also includes like textual descriptions like written words. You can try to identify the major themes, and you can write a description based on the themes that you have identified, or else you can also go for the content analysis. Like suppose if you're having any data on images, pictures, or some diagrams. So based on those diagrams, what interview you have done. So based on that, you can also go for the content-wise analysis in your review paper. So as I told, synthesis methods are different types. Like you can also go for the narrative summary where you decide that meta-analysis or forest plot is not possible, and you have to just describe your findings based on the narrative summary. And you can also go for the meta-analysis if you have adequate data from the studies based on your interest. Then you can also go for the qualitative data synthesis. As I mentioned, you can try to identify the themes, and based on the themes, you can narratively describe the findings. Then you can also go for the mixed method synthesis where you are going to include the quantitative data as well as qualitative data simultaneously, and you are going to combine the findings from both the study designs, and you will provide the appropriate results based on your review question. So next, after data synthesis comes like writing a systematic review. So after your systematic review, you have to publish the systematic review to make sure that your review will be utilized for any policy change, or it can be utilized for some of the improvement based on the need. So it is mandatory that you have to publish your systematic review. So to publish a systematic review, you have to follow certain steps where you have to write in such a way that the reader will understand what the review is, how it was conducted, who was your population, or what was your intervention or comparator outcome, and what you are going to convey to the audience. So writing a systematic review manuscript requires a structured and organized approach to ensure the research is conducted thoroughly and transparently. So as I was telling yesterday, when we look at the quality of the studies, if you conduct in a systematic way, it is also important to write it in such a way that you have done it in a appropriate way. So there are some of the recommended standard for preparing the final report. So as you know, while we write a systematic review, it has to include few of the important areas which should not be missed in your systematic review. Like suppose you have to include a report title. So suppose if you write your title in your manuscript, you have to also mention it as like a systematic review and a meta-analysis. So a reader will be able to understand what kind of study design or what kind of paper it is. Then you have to also include an abstract of this your review where you are going to mention like what is the importance of that review, what was your rationale, what was your methods in a concise manner. So include an executive summary. It depends on the journal. Like suppose some journals they will mention like you have to mention like highlights, you have to mention executive summary or these many words summary you have to write. So it depends on the journal also or the guidelines which you are following in a systematic review. Then you have to include an introduction. So what all you have to write in an introduction? So always try to rationalize like why your review is important and what it is going to answer for the audience. And also mention the objectives, like what are the objectives in your systematic reviews, or if not objectives, you can also mention the research question. So include some methods section. So in the method section, as you know, we have to follow different methods in our systematic review. So in the methods, you can write what is your inclusion criteria, what is your exclusion criteria, what was the PICO that you had followed, what are the screening methods you had followed. Okay, so then how you did the screening, how many people were involved. So those all has to be written in the method section. Then you have to also include a result section. So in the result section, it depends on you, like how you want to organize your result section. So you can also take help of tables, figures, or any diagrams to just to visualize your results. Then include a discussion section based on your findings. You are going to discuss your study findings, or I mean to say your review findings with other supportive studies. Then include a section describing funding sources. So if you have received any funding for your systematic review, or might be institution is funding for you for your systematic review, or it can be a part of your PhD project also. In that case, if your PhD is funded, you can also acknowledge them in your funding sources. So now we will see in detail like what all has to be included in your systematic review manuscript. So right from first, as I was telling, first thing comes is the title. So the title should identify the report as a systematic review, a meta-analysis, or both. Okay, so suppose if you are going to publish your systematic review protocol, so in that case, you don't mention it as a meta-analysis. You can just mention your title and a systematic review, because you will not be very sure whether you're going to progress with your meta-analysis or not. So you can keep as a systematic review, but as and then when you start progressing with your systematic review, you will get some idea whether meta-analysis is possible or not. So when you publish your manuscript, you can mention it as a systematic review and meta-analysis. So next, the title should also reflect the research questions addressed in the review to help the reader understand the scope of the systematic review. So this is very important. So what you have mentioned in the title, your research question and the title should always match. Your research question should not say something else and your review question should not convey something else. But like in the previous class, you might have heard like you can have one or two research questions, but sub question it depends. Like whether you want to keep the sub questions or like how many you want to keep, but make sure that your research question it's aligned with the title and it doesn't convey something else. So next comes the abstract, executive summary, and plain summary. So as I told, like you have to mention what is the background of your study, mention your objectives, the data sources or the searching criteria, like what all databases you had used, like what was the time limit you had followed, which all databases, whether you have taken help of gray literature. Okay, and also your study eligibility criteria. What was the inclusion criteria? What was the exclusion criteria? Who are your participants? What was your interventions? Okay, and how you are going to do the data synthesis and as well as the quality assessment. How you are going to organize your results? Like what is your limitations, conclusion, and implications, and also systematic review registration number. So you know that we have to register our systematic review in the Prospero database. So after you register your systematic review, you will get a registration number. So that you have to mention in your abstract. Next comes the introduction. So what you have to do is you have to describe your research question as well as the rationale for undertaking the review. So what all you can write is first you can define your topic, what is your research question, what is your objective, what you found from the literature, and what is lacking in the literature, and what made you to take up this review, and what you are going to convey the audience. These many areas has to be reported. And sometimes you might do a review might be 5 years back, and you see that there is a need to update a systematic review. So in that case, if it is the update of a systematic review, you can mention, so this review is an update of a previous systematic review, and also you have to provide the reason, like what made you to update this systematic review, and what different it is compared to your previous review. So next comes the method section. So as I told, research protocol, you have to cite your protocol registration number, and you have to also provide details of deviation. Like yesterday I was mentioning. So if you publish your systematic review protocol, and as and then when you progress with your systematic review, you can see that some things will not go as it is how you have written in a systematic review protocol. Sometimes you might have to deviate from your protocol. So if there is any deviation from your protocol that is published, you can also write an amendment, and you can also write in your present systematic review that this was mentioned in the protocol and what was deviated and the reason for the deviation. So eligibility criteria, mainly you have to mention your research designs, like what kind of studies you're going to included in your review, what was your PICO, and what are your study characteristics, like how much time duration you had kept to search for the relevant articles, what was the language, what are the filters you are going to apply during search, and what are the areas that you are mainly going to focus. Then the key questions comes is mainly, as I told, you can choose any of the frameworks, because all systematic review will not fit for PICO or PICOT's framework. So there are different kinds of frameworks which you can go back and see, and it might already discussed by Divya in the previous class. So which framework suits your review question, you can select that, and you have to stick your methods while writing your research question. So databases, like as I told, like you can mention what are the studies you had found out from your databases and from gray literature, what was the eligibility criteria, what you had followed during the search, and the date of last search. So sometimes what happens is the data will be very old when you're going to publish. So make sure that once you finish your search, at least by in between 4 to 6 months, you will try to publish your systematic review, because what happens is the author will do a database search 1 year back, and after 1 year he will try to publish his review findings, but by that time someone might have already published a systematic review on your topic, or the data is very old and many studies have been published in your particular review. So be very sure that the date of last search will not be very old when you're going to publish your systematic review. suppose in some cases, like you get busy with your work, you are not able to publish your systematic review on time. So in that case, what you can do is you can update your search and see whether any new articles has been added in your for your systematic review. Then search strategy, you will be developing your search strategy for your systematic review, right? So at least one database search strategy you can provide as a supplementary file when you are going to upload your systematic review manuscript. So all what you can do is you can also mention what are the limits you had applied, what were the search strategies that you had followed, what are the search keywords that you had followed during the search, and when you had conducted the search. So these many details you can provide for the submission. So next is the study selection. So you have to write how you have screened your studies, like what softwares you had used for screening your studies, like for example, Ryan or Covidence, whether you had used, or how many persons were involved in screening your studies. Then if there was any difference between two reviewers, if there was any conflict, how did you resolve it? So these things has to be written in the study selection. Then comes the data extraction. So you have to mention like a data extraction sheet was already developed and what all data you had captured in your review, that has to be mentioned. And here also like how many reviewers were included in data extraction, and if there was any conflict, how it was resolved. Suppose sometime there will be missing information. So in that case, you can mention if you had contacted researchers, or whether you had tried contacting other your peer support, or whether you had checked their protocol, what they had mentioned. So how you have found the missing data can be reported. So what are informations you have to extract it based on the research question framework. As I had already told you, research question frameworks is the backbone for your systematic review. So then next comes the appraisal of individual studies. So here you can mention how you have assessed the quality of the studies, like what tool you had used, what was your criteria, how many reviewers were included, and what was the results of the quality appraisal, like how many studies were of low quality, good quality, as well as moderate quality. So those things you can write in your appraisal. So next comes the data pooling across the studies. So here mainly you have to provide the rationale for pooling your results. Okay, if you are going for the meta-analysis, you have to mention like what data you have taken from the studies to pool your data, and whether it is similar for the all the included studies. And if you are going for the meta-analysis, you have to mention like good quality studies can be done as a separate meta-analysis, and low quality studies can also go for a separate analysis. So that you have to justify in your manuscript. Next is synthesizing the results. So as I discussed in my previous slide, you can plan for the quantitative or qualitative data synthesis. And if you're having both the study designs, like quantitative, qualitative designs, and your review is a itself is a mixed method review. So in that case, you can also go for the mixed method synthesis. And if there is any heterogeneity or sensitivity or statistical uncertainty when you go for the meta-analysis, you have to mention how it was addressed in your review, and how the level of evidence was what to say decided in your systematic review. Next is if you're going to do any additional analysis like subgroup analysis in your meta-analysis or meta-regression, that also can be mentioned in your systematic review. So next comes the tables and figures. Like as I told, when you are going to have your data analysis, you can also go for like, as I told, you can design it in the tables and figures, so that the word count you can reduce, because no one likes to read so much of data. Instead of that, if you add many figures or tables, that will be reduced to your writing and also the word counts in your manuscript. So next comes the discussion session. That is, after writing your results, you have to discuss or summarize your main findings in your systematic review. You have to mention what is the strength of evidence that you found out in your systematic review, and you have to compare it with any other published literature. So it will be a general interpretation of the results for each key question. Like for example, if you are having two review questions, you can write a separate discussion for the question 1, and the question 2 can be separately discussed based on the supporting studies you are having. If you don't have supporting studies for the separately for question 1 and question 2, you can describe it together. There is no like structured format you have to follow in the discussion section, because some papers we see that they split and write like based on their research question. There is no need unless the journal is recommending you to write it separately. So the discussion should draw conclusions only if they are clearly supported by the evidence. So as I told, like you don't try to repeat the results in a discussion. Instead of that, you can say this study has said this. This is the finding. So if you find that findings is a positive finding, so that positive findings you can compare with any other similar literature that is existing to strongly suggest that yes, this result is very positive. Next, the discussions should also report the strength of the existing evidence on the topic using consistent language when discussing different studies and the date of the most recent literature or the recommendation. So when you're going to compare with other study, make sure that the literature is not very old and it doesn't match for your findings. So always try to find the present literature, or might be 1 or 2 years old is also okay, fine, but don't go and search very past 5 years or past 10 years data that is going to support your findings. So next comes the funding and conflict of interest section. So this is the like final part of your systematic review manuscript, where you are going to describe the sources of funding in your systematic review and what is the role of funder they play in your systematic review. Might be if you are going to include their name in your manuscript, you have to take the proper approval that you are going to cite their name in your manuscript. The review authors, contributing users, and stakeholders' biases, and how any potential conflicts were managed. Like if there any conflict of interest between the authors also, like how we are going to say it. Like suppose sometime what happens is you might take help of someone for your systematic review, but when you're going to send your manuscript for the publications, the all the authors they did not approve your systematic review. Okay, so always make sure once you write your systematic review, so send it across to all the authors, those who are included in your systematic review, so that you will get all the authors approval before uploading. So if some author they might mention like I have not seen that manuscript, or I don't know which author order I belong to. So they have a right to raise a conflict of interest to the journal which you have submitted, because once you submit to the journal, all the authors will get a notification, right? So they nowadays all the journals they will make sure that they will send a what to say approval email to all the authors. So in that case, the author will come to know like what is their author order and what is your manuscript. They even have the chance to go through the your manuscript. So in that case, if they feel like conflict of interest is there, so they might raise the conflict of interest. Then next is appendix. So as I told, you can attach few of the areas, mainly like your search strategy of at least one database as your supplementary or appendix file in your systematic review, because this will show that what work you have done, what are the keywords you have used, so that the reviewer will also understand, okay, so based on these keywords and these criteria, these many articles were found. Because nowadays even the reviewers what they will do is they will go back and they might use your search strategy and they will run a search and see, but that time they might get minimal studies. But when they search in Google Scholar or some other methods, they see like okay, already there are many studies on this paper, but the author has used very limited studies in this review, so they will directly reject your systematic review, because they see that already many data is there which you had missed in your systematic review. So always make sure your search strategy is proper, that and also you have checked with your team, and then only you had progress with your systematic review. So this is regarding how to write your systematic review report. So next I will go through referencing, reporting and publication of systematic reviews. So what is referencing in systematic reviews? So once you finish your systematic reviews, you have